Now, Locke is also important because of his ideas about humans and their minds. In his essay concerning human understanding, Locke surmises that humans are born as blank slates, or tabula rasas. We are born blank, and therefore we learn through our experiences. We learn from our environment. What humans become, whether we become good people or bad people, whether we steal or we're educated, these are things we learn from our upbringing and our experiences. Now, this is very important because it's incredibly optimistic. It suggests that humans are not doomed to some, purgatory here on Earth. We're not doomed because of, this natural sin or original sin. We're not doomed because we're naturally evil, as Hobbes might surmise. But instead, we have rights, and we have the ability to change. Humans can experience new things and therefore become better people. It's incredibly optimistic. It suggests that if you put people in good environments, if you expose people to good ideas and education, then we can create a good society, a better society. So, looking at your notes then, put a star next to two key people, Newton and Locke. Newton and Locke, put a star next to them, and then put arrows down to the Enlightenment. Because their ideas are the key ideas from England that flow into France and are sort of spread during this Enlightenment period. Newton's ideas that humans can understand the world and understand how it works, and that the world operates based on rational principles, will therefore suggest that governments should be rational. Governments should codify laws. Governments should not have arbitrary distinctions between these people who are nobles because of whatever reason. Locke, likewise, his incredible optimism that humans are blank slates and therefore can be put in good environments and therefore the human condition can improve, will also be that link that in the Enlightenment thinkers' minds explains why they're trying to improve society. Because they can improve society. Because humans can be improved. And so the ideas of Newton and Locke are, empowering for Enlightenment thinkers. They're motivating and quite influential. So, during the Enlightenment, these ideas of natural rights, which begin with Locke, are perpetuated. And virtually all the philosophers take almost for granted. For example, in Diderot's encyclopedia, the idea of rights is seen throughout it. And in many articles about different things, governments that are violating rights, or churches that are taking away rights, that are not allowing liberty and people to think freely, these are criticized. Or that are imprisoning people unjustly. These are criticized because they're violating natural rights, an idea coming from Locke. The Enlightenment also has this incredible sense of progress or optimism. Humans feel that they're on the verge of understanding the universe, of making sense of the world, and therefore, because they can do that, they can make sense of human society. They can improve human society. And so we see people involved in progress, taking this ability to understand nature and therefore bringing it down to human society. For example, Beccaria, with his book on crimes and punishment, is writing about how there should be better penal systems and less, ending capital punishment because it's unjust, it violates rights. Another example of an Enlightenment philosopher taking this knowledge and applying it to human beings is Adam Smith. looking at humans and how they behave and saying that we can increase prosperity, we can increase wealth with a certain economic system. We can increase wealth if the government stays out of the economy and allows individuals, this is their right, allows individuals to do with their property as they see fit, to do with their time as they see fit, and this will allow maximum prosperity creation. Now, Voltaire and Diderot are two big philosophers. We're not going to go in and talk about them at length here because we already did. So review that. And Hume and Kant as well. Hume, of course, is an empiricist. Only the things we can observe with our senses are true. And so he says that miracles are false, and the only reason why humans believe in religion is because we are afraid and because we are, hopeful, but not because there's proof of anything, right? We hope, we're praying that there's some reason we're going through this ordeal called life, and we fear if we didn't believe in God, or we fear what it would exist if there wasn't a God. So that's what Hume writes. And Kant, of course, we've talked about, is very, very complicated. So his critique of pure reason basically says that there is an objective truth out there, but everyone has their own subjective experience of that truth. And so he's critiquing, well, the empiricism of Hume, right? That there is a truth out there that we can all sense that does in fact exist as we perceive it. He says, well, we're all perceiving it differently. And so Kant is trying to combine the rationalism of Descartes, that sort of internal understanding, making sense of the world, with the empiricism of thinkers like Bacon and Hume. Yes?
Is there a specific word that we should remember by Hume?
One of his famous essays is on miracles, and so that's always a good one to write, because it's an essay in which he just basically denounces that miracles happen. And why is this useful? Because we can use it as an example of how he's an empiricist, only things that we have evidence for are true. And we can use this as an example of, Enlightenment skepticism toward religion. So that's useful to mention in that capacity.